What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rumor Wave. This is a pretty quick video here, mostly centering around the rumor that the firmware 7.0.0-30 is inbound to the Nintendo Switch, as in it's coming out in like the next, at this rate, probably the next 24 hours, maybe even sooner. It's probably going to happen even tonight, but it's something to keep an eye out for because this appears to be a bigger update. Obviously, when that first number, for example, moves up a notch, so from 6 to 7, that is usually a bigger jump when it comes to features, security measures, or stability, as that seems to be Nintendo's go-to thing is stability. Now, 7.0.0, like I said, appears to be on its way, and the last time we made a big jump from 5 to 6, we actually had quite a few features and other things added and updated. Now, let's first go over where this is coming from. This mostly is coming from people who data mine the Switch and have noticed that 7.0.0 appears to be ready to go. And this is going to be an interesting time for Nintendo over the next 2 weeks or so, as it seems that a lot of stuff is about to kind of start happening here pretty soon. We know that there is a Nindies presentation, or just an Indies highlights presentation tomorrow that will actually have some pretty cool announcements in there and some fun stuff to see, a lot of indie games and stuff. But then we also know that there is a rumor that Nintendo Direct is going to be following that up at some point soon. It's within proximity of it, so maybe like a week later, 2 weeks later. There does appear to also be a Direct kind of on the way with that indie presentation also there. So this update, 7.0.0, is mostly going to be interesting to keep an eye on. Maybe not necessarily because of features that are obvious, but things that could be added in the background. And that's what, of course, data miners are going to be looking at after this is added. If you remember, back when we had firmware updated, we actually saw that there was some controller icons added that eventually led to them announcing that NES controller that we could get. So you might see something added there. We, of course, know that there is a controller icon that appears to be a Super Nintendo one that is already sitting on the Switch. Couple that with the NES or Super Nintendo games, that are appearing on the Switch in that NES app. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if this update eventually led to Super Nintendo games starting to show up in some way. That's the biggest theory now for this. However, we do know that one thing that is going to be added is language options for China and Korea. So you'll have Chinese and Korean language options and everything. This actually translates, talking about an update that is coming up soon. Now, of course, that is through Google Translate, but the idea is pretty straightforward there. That's kind of what we're looking for that. So outside of that, I'm sure we'll have stability and some other things hidden. I was wondering if there would be any massive update, as the last time we had an update, as you're seeing here, from 5 to 6, that's when we got the cloud backup. If you remember that was like a bigger feature that they kind of pointed out and touted a bit. And then, of course, we also had stability, system functionality. They changed up things when it came to uploading captured video, screenshots, all kinds of stuff there. But the biggest thing there, of course, that they pointed to was the save data cloud backup. And I was trying to figure out if there's anything that they would do, whether it's messaging to your friends, anything with functionality for that. But I think if they're going to do anything like that, it might not even really be highlighted heavily. It might just be kind of thrown out there. So you're going to want to pay attention just to see what 7.0.0 actually does, and it might not be what they tell us. Like I said, things might be hidden. I'm going to keep an eye on it to see what happens, but the rumor right now is that there will be a time where the shop goes down at some point later on tonight, possibly, and then it comes back up with this as an update that is ready to go, because one other thing that is being speculated is that they may be changing the name of the shop. Remember, we saw that in a lawsuit that was filed, that they would be changing up the name of the eShop, and that's something that could also be happening with this update as well, 7.0.0. So it's interesting stuff nonetheless. This is, of course, a rumor, as Nintendo has said nothing about it, but the people who data mine these things are generally pretty good about it, and they usually pick these things up pretty well and have alerted us about several updates in the past. So I do believe we are going to get a firmware update soon. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it is tonight or in the next 24 hours. And 7.0.0-30 has certainly sent the Switch hacking scene into a bit of a frenzy right now, with everyone not really sure about what it's actually going to do. But of course, we will find out some answers when it actually drops and people get a chance to dig into it. So just keep that in mind. You may get an alert for an update 7.0.0, and we'll see, I guess, what happens from there. Interesting stuff nonetheless. We have a lot of stuff to go over tomorrow morning in Newswave as well, so make sure you stop by there. Make sure you guys like the video here if you liked it, and get subscribed, because we got a lot of stuff, guys, coming up. I'm telling you, there's going to be some interesting stuff Nintendo's going to be doing here over the next couple weeks. So thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.